Hello, everyone. Welcome to another semester of general chemistry here at Vincennes University. My name is Dr. Aaron Bruck. I will be your chemistry professor for this semester. And I wanted to start this semester out by actually sending you some materials early. The primary reason for that is if you can go through and watch these materials, do some of the preliminary work before that first day of class, it makes the first day of class go that much smoother and that much easier. Makes things a lot easier for us just in general. So with that in mind, the purpose of this video is actually to get us into looking at the syllabus. So we're not going to talk about the syllabus much at all on the first day. Instead, we're going to use that time to get you ready to actually do some of the work that is part of the class itself. And we're going to actually get into some new and real material about chemistry that first day. So let's take a look at our syllabus. Now, the syllabus itself here will be in Blackboard. Right now, it's going through an approval process. This is just a preview of it. But once it's approved, it'll be on Blackboard. The relevant important parts are already there. I've kind of drawn them out and put them in a place for you to have access to that. And you can find all of that in your Blackboard. All you need to do is if you go into My VU and you go down to this part here where you are students, the Blackboard online courses will open up for you your Blackboard account. You're going to be looking at this Chem 105 right there, and all of your information here is going to be most of the stuff is going to be under the Start Here tab right here, including the course schedule, the links to some of our course materials, and so on. But the syllabus itself, let's take a look at some of the high points here. First of all, the course text. I've got a lot of emails and text messages already about the text. There's some confusion about what you need to get. And if you look at the bookstore's website, I can understand the confusion, because if you look at either of my sections, you're going to see two things. Well, now you're going to see a Top Hat subscription code that was not there a couple of days ago. We just got that one figured out. But you can purchase Top Hat access directly from the bookstore. It's actually not marked up all that much. It's $32. If you buy it directly from Top Hat, it's $30. This business here with the either ors, these are the same textbook. This one on the top here, this is the paperback. So if you like having real books, physical copies of your textbooks, go for this first option right here. If you like ebooks, go for this second option here. Now, both of these options have within them the code that will allow you to access your smart work homework. If you don't want to go with either of these options, that's perfectly fine as well. You will have to purchase books. You'll have to purchase access to Smart Work 5 directly from Norton Publishing, which means that you will need to enter your credit card information. It costs $35 to do so. And this link here in Blackboard will take you through that process. I've got a whole separate video on YouTube that I'll link at the end that'll tell you how to go through the process of signing up and paying for things. But that'll only get you access to the homework itself. I do offer an alternate text. It's from OpenStax. And it's a fine textbook. Most of the stuff that you're going to find in OpenStax, you'll find in our current textbook as well. but you only need to purchase one or the other of these. You do not need to purchase both. Which one you purchase is completely up to you and based on what you are interested in, what you're, how you best study. You'll also need access to a scientific calculator, one that does not graph. And as I mentioned before, you need to purchase access to Top Hat. You can do that through the bookstore. I just showed you how. It's a $32 access code there. If you don't want to go through the bookstore, if you want to go through Top Hat directly, you can do that by going to this website. And even if you don't have the money for your books, you're waiting on financial aid, or you're waiting on something else, you're trying to find out whether or not you're going to purchase all of your materials. Top Hat will allow you, and I'll walk you through this process here in a minute. Top Hat will allow you to access for 2 weeks all of the things on their website. Actually, I might have misspoke. That might be a 3-week trial. It's either 2 or 3 weeks. But anyway, it'll get you through the first couple of weeks of the semester for free. So don't let financial aid be the thing that kind of trips you up. I also need to make mention of Circle In. Circle In is a virtual studying app and website that is available. In Circle In, we have a specific page just for Chem 105. And you can do it by downloading the app to your phone or by downloading the desktop version to your computer. This is something I don't have a whole lot of control over. It is peer-to-peer, meaning that the faculty members can generally oversee things, but we do not get asked for much input on it. But this is a great way for you to meet with each other, to send each other messages, to share materials and resources. Maybe you find stuff that I don't have, and it's a good way to share it with each other. Here's my instructor information. You can find my email address is right here. This is the phone number for the phone in my office. We'll talk about Remind in a second, but I will be available via text message on Remind every day from 8 to 8. So if you send me a text message between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., I will get back to you at some point that day. Anytime outside of that range, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As far as my office is in Updike 123, which is kind of right across the hall from where we will be having lecture. Probably the easiest way to describe it is when you find the vending machines on the first floor of Updike Hall, you'll find my office. It's right next to it. I have office hours. I have 2 office hours every Monday and Wednesday, one at 10 and one at 2. And on Fridays, I have office hours at 10 o'clock also. Those are in-person office hours. However, if you are more comfortable coming in over Zoom, I will be available over Zoom by appointment only. Just let me know, and I'll make sure to have Zoom opened up for you. I'm going to skip over this stuff about the outcomes of the course and whatnot. You can read these on your own. Just kind of give you a course overview, tells you how you're evaluated, tells you, how we come to calculate your grade. Your grade is based on a weighted percentage in 4 key areas. Basically, lecture, post-lecture homework material is 1/4 of your grade. Chapter quizzes are 15%. Proficiencies, which we'll talk about in a minute, are 10%. Your exams are 50%, and that makes a total of 100%. Course policies. First thing that we have to mention is that we are still under some form of COVID protocols. And these, as you might have guessed, are fluid. based upon current conditions here in the university and in the surrounding community. You have to wear masks the whole time. You can't eat and drink in the rooms. Your desks will be set at 3 feet apart from each other. And we will be conducting a seating chart somewhere in that first week, just so that we have the ability to do contact tracing should the need arise. We're going to be using paperless policies wherever possible. Almost all of your assignments, with the exception of your quizzes and proficiencies and exams, are going to be done online. So all of your homework, all of your in-class activities, this is where Top Hat and SmartWork 5, the homework platform, are really going to be useful for us. Quizzes will be given to you in lab. They will be paper-based quizzes. Proficiencies will be given in lecture and in lab. Those will be paper-based as well. Exams will be given face-to-face on paper as opposed to online. As far as attendance policies are concerned, generally speaking, our rules are slightly relaxed to allow for the accommodations related to COVID-19. If you are quarantined, if you are not feeling well, you are not expected to come to class. If you are quarantined, make sure that you go through our self-reporting forms in MyVU. Go through the contact tracer. That way you get those absences excused, as opposed to just anyone throwing it out there that they're available. And I will be using our online platforms, Blackboard, Remind. I'm also tinkering with a Google Calendar share that'll send you updates when assignments are due. And I'll use those to kind of take away from some of the pre-lecture discussion time, give us more time on task. As far as late work is concerned and makeup work, shouldn't have a whole lot of makeup work. And now assignments are announced well in advance. You're given plenty of time to do them. So really the only makeup work that comes in is if you have to miss class for an extended period of time due to, illness, family tragedy, something like that. Late work, I do accept assignments late, up to 2 days late, but they come at a 5% penalty a day. Use of electronic devices. I'm going to give you the opportunity to use your cell phones quite a bit. Now, that's actually one of the advantages of Top Hat, is you're going to have the ability to interact with me using your phone or your laptop. So you're going to be allowed to have it out, but please stay on task. A little bit about our drop policy. CHEM 105 and its laboratory, CHEM 105L, are linked courses. If you drop one, you have to drop the other. So it doesn't happen often, but it is something worth noting. If you find that you're in trouble in the class and you need to drop, keep in mind the drop date here. October 29th is the last day that you can drop the class and not receive a grade. After October 29th, you can still drop the class, but it's going to be a drop for non-attendance, and that usually means that you get an F as well as a drop. For our evaluations, we've got 4 different types. Again, the homework, and the in-class activities, the post-lectures. All of your homework is going to be given through SmartWork. That is the textbook publisher's homework platform. It's really a pretty good homework platform. And I'll give you some instructions for how to access it coming up here. This is actually incorrect. It's a 5% penalty per day, not a 10%. I'll make sure to change that. Top Hat. All of your lectures are going to have interactive components. I'm going to be taking attendance using Top Hat. I'm also going to be asking you questions or asking your opinion on things. And for those things that have a correct answer, it's going to be a 50-50 model. It's a 1-point question, let's say. Half of a point is just for doing it. The other half is for doing it correctly. After lecture, I usually give you a post-lecture assignment that is outside of the homework, and this is a review of the stuff that we talked about that day. Sometimes it's also a preview of what's coming up in the next lecture. It just depends on what the topic is. And, so for example, the first week, I'm going to give you a post-lecture activity that has a preview in it for significant figures. And the reason for that is, for the most part, you should know how to do significant figures, giving you the opportunity to review that in between classes so that the next class we can just hit the ground running with calculations and maybe clean up a couple of misconceptions along the way instead of spending 20 minutes just talking about what significant figures are. We're going to make you do that 20 minutes outside of class. Now for Top Hat, the way to get into Top Hat is the following. You should have received an email from me. Actually, some of you have received a couple of emails from me asking you to enroll in Top Hat. If you can't find that email, this website, which is not only in the syllabus, but is also here in Blackboard, this will take you to Top Hat. It'll come up a login page like this. And if you have an account, you just lock in your account. If you don't have an account, you go to the bottom here where it says create an account. And you put in your information. Joe student, Joe, put in your email address, joeiscool@mail.com. And you put in your password, whatever you want it to be. Chemistry is awesome. Agree to the terms of service. You hit next. This student ID step is completely optional. You can put it in here, but you do not have to if you do not want to. I would strongly encourage you to put in your mobile phone though, because again, we're going to be using this in lecture. And so having your phone number linked means that you can go directly from your phone to checking in for attendance to answering questions pretty much instantaneously. Does it all right here for you. And then that's it. You hit continue. It's going to take you to this billing page, and you've got two things. First of all, if you have an access key from the bookstore, you can click on this guy and it'll put it in there. If you have a credit card, you can click that button there. And I would strongly encourage you to do this $30 option right here. Unless you know of other professors that are using Top Hat, and you'll know that you'll be in one of those sections next semester. And then you put in your information like that. If you don't have either of those, that's fine. Click on the 14-day free trial. And you will see everything's here now. Tells you how long your free trial lasts. You can see right now nothing's assigned. The first assignment actually won't come through until this afternoon. I'm calling that assignment 0, which actually you are watching part of the video that comes with that assignment. But that's Top Hat. For quizzes, there are going to be 10 quizzes throughout the semester. They will cover each chapter that we go over. and the quizzes will be given to you in lab. So you'll show up to the lab that day. They'll start off by giving you a quiz. The quizzes will get sent to me. I'll grade them and I'll give them back to you. And so if you look at the deadlines here, these will tell you which date you're in, and whether you have it on the 25th or the 26th for chapter 1 depends entirely on whether you have lab on Monday, Wednesday, or if you have lab on Tuesday, Thursday. For the exams, there are 4 exams in total, 3 of them that we take during class, and then the final exam at the end of the course. That final exam will be on the first day of finals, Monday, December 6th, and that'll be at 6 p.m. The other 3 exams, like I said, will be given over the course of the semester in class, and the tentative announced dates are September 15th, October 8th, and November 15th. So you can see here, about every month or so, we'll be taking a new exam. The last thing that we'll talk about here is the proficiencies. These are essential skills of chemistry that you must master before you can pass the class. And so there are 10 essential skills that we are going to go over. And how they'll work is this. They're basically short quizzes. The quizzes themselves range from something like 5-10 minutes for some of the early ones to maybe 15 or 20 minutes for some of the longer ones at the end. The first attempt that you'll get on a proficiency will be done during class, and they will be on these dates. The second attempt or the third attempt will be done, you have to schedule it with your lab professor to take one of these quizzes during off time in your lab. So after a lab is over, on days where you're doing skill builders or virtual experiments, or simulations, so as not to interrupt with the normal flow of lab. So how it works is this. If you pass it on the first attempt, you get 100% on it. Easy as can be. If you don't pass it on the first attempt, you have to make up the an additional attempt either with your lab professor, or there will be some days where I will say, okay, I'm going to be in this classroom at this time. If you need to make up a proficiency, go ahead and show up. If you pass it on one of those subsequent attempts, you'll get 80% credit. So the worst that you can do on these proficiencies is get 80% on them if you pass all of them. If you don't pass all of them, well, then you can't pass the class. And so you have until December 3rd to do that. And so we'll talk more about these as time goes on, but you can see that our first proficiency is actually the second Monday. So the Monday of the second week of class, and it's on elements and symbols. And you see, we get started right away on those. Your best course of action, when you know that those are coming up, study, get ready for them, come prepared to class. You'll be have a really, really good shot at meeting the benchmark, the standard of passing. Here's the information that you need for smart work in terms of signing up. I'll link a video to that at the end of this video so that you can go ahead and sign up for your homework. There are a couple of homework assignments that are due the first week of class, so you're going to want to get in there as soon as possible. Then finally, here's our course calendar. In this course calendar, you're going to see I've planned out tentative topics for each day, and those tentative topics have with them videos that are already in my YouTube channel. So if you ever miss class for any reason, you can look at, okay, this is roughly what we did that day, and you'll find a video that is similarly titled on my YouTube channel. You can go ahead and watch those videos. Top Hat also records all of my personal notes on the PowerPoints, so you have all of those as well. But you can see I've put in here, these are when all the proficiency dates are, these are when the exams are. So this is a really good tool. And like I said, I'm working on building a Google version of this calendar that would send you notifications and updates for when these due dates are coming up, just to give you another layer of reminding. But that's it for this particular video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave those questions either in the comments section here for this video, or better yet, if you're viewing this video as part of that assignment 0 in Top Hat, go ahead and put those. There's a question at the bottom of that assignment that says, did you get everything? Do you have any questions? Use that to ask me some questions. I'll be sure to read those before we get to our first day of class. But for right now, that's all for this particular video. I will see you in class on the first day, on that Monday. Have a good day.